to another Rise and Shine flight. Today I'm going to take you on a trip in the Philippines, and this particular trip is on the island of Masbate. Now, you may wonder, well, why are we flying here? Well, the answer is because a friend of mine, whose name is Florie, actually lives here, and she's watched some Rise and Shine flights. I know her through Second Life. That's another virtual world that I like to play in sometimes. But where she lives, she doesn't have a strong internet connection, so we can't really set up a session where she's flying in the co-pilot seat. So the next best thing I could think of is to do a special video for her. And the flight plan for today takes us from the Masbate airport on the island of Masbate, and we'll fly southeast, going over some beautiful land and a bay, and hopefully get to see some lovely islands along the way, following the coast down to her hometown, Palanas. So we'll go inside the plane, and as you can see, it looks a little different from the last flight, and that's because I've decided to paint it metallic blue. Isn't that something? So like we always do with our startup procedures, we'll go ahead and start with opening our fuel valve, coming down here, confirming brake is on. We'll switch our battery on. Avionics coming up nice and working properly. And we'll do our magnetos, setting it to left, to right, to both, and to start. Okay, up and running. Like I said, we're at the Masbate airport. The flight southeast is about 22 nautical miles. Should take us just a few minutes to get down there, and we'll get things going. We'll first check to see that our controls are free and clear. Looking good there. Go ahead and put in 15 degrees of flaps, selected and confirmed. Alright, so with that, take our parking brake off and we'll taxi over to the runway. We're kind of leaving in the morning because I wanted to try to see a little bit of the golden hour. I think it's a little different than what we normally do on these flights. But as you can see, we've got some gorgeous views ahead of us here. So I'll go ahead and put on my brakes, get it turned just a little bit more. Brakes on, full throttle. And about there, brakes off, and we are off. So Florie, welcome to the flight. And we're coming up to our rotate speed of 70 knots, and there we go. We are up and off the ground. Gear up. Oh, that sun is bright this morning, isn't it? So head our way to the southeast. We're at 500 feet. So we bring up our flaps. And we'll continue up to about 1,000, 1,500 feet, somewhere around there. Florie, I hope you can recognize some landmarks as we go along. I'm sure you will. Looks like we might have the sun in our eyes for a great deal of this flight, so I guess I should have thought of maybe sunset instead, but look at that view. Alright, we're coming up on 1,500 feet, so I'm going to bring the throttle down and settle into a cruise as we get leveled out. So one of the things we're going to do is we're going to try to, there's some islands up here, someplace called the Deegan Island, and just north of that there is Jamorawan Pink Beach. At least that's what I saw on Google Maps. It looked kind of interesting. So as we fly out here, just taking the views. Kind of like that blue livery that we have on the plane today. Sunny skies. We can look off to the west, the mountains up there. Sure is beautiful country here, isn't it? Definitely something I'd like to see firsthand. So we'll settle into this flight and take in the views, and I'll come back to you once we get closer to those islands. There's a couple little resorts on this island. Jamorawan Pink Beach is tucked into that little tiny island on the right, and I did see earlier some other little resort on this bigger island. So we'll pass right over and take a look. We'll go ahead and put in our flaps, cut our power. We're just going to kind of come up alongside the coast there and ease it into a nice water landing right there at the waterfront. We'll go inside the plane. And as we always do, we want to try to keep that angle of attack indicator flat. So as we're getting low, I'll start bleeding the speed off. We're getting a good sight picture now out the side of the window. You can see the ripples on the water. That's a good indicator. And as you can see, that angle of attack indicator is nice and flat, so we're on a good approach. Just kind of sustain this angle here for just a couple minutes. And I'm aiming for that white building there. So now I think we're good to let it settle in. So I'll cut the power, pull back a little bit, and a nice touchdown. There we go. Welcome to Polanis, everyone. I hope I'm saying that right, Florie. And a beautiful morning in Masbate, Philippines. bring our Icon A5 up there to that edge. And this will conclude our little short flight in the Philippines in honor of my Second Life friend Florie. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope everyone had a good time coming along as well. If you did, please click that like button. Please consider subscribing and taking a look at my other videos. And with that, I'll go ahead and kill the power. Shut everything down. And just kind of coast to a stop there. And until next time, stay safe. We'll see you soon.